Newsbeat on Metro Television coming to you live from the North Ridge Kwabahima studios here in Accra. My name is Ifwa Ando, coming up in the next 60 minutes. Following the death of a mother and her 3 children, some residents of Ketu South are demonstrating against the operations of a salt mining company, 7C Salt Limited, along the Keta Lagoon. Lawyers for Galamsey Queen Aisha want to make another case for her release today after she and 3 of her counterparts were earlier denied bail by an Accra Circuit Court. Plus, a panel set up by Nigeria's National Human Rights Commission recommends the dismissal and prosecution of a number of police officers for torture, extrajudicial killings, and illegal detentions during the EndSARS project. Details coming up shortly. Residents in the Ketu South municipality of the Volta region have been demonstrating this morning to register their grievances following the death of a mother and her 3 children. 4 persons, a mother and her 3 children, died 2 weeks ago after drowning in a pit allegedly created in a lagoon by a salt mining company. According to the residents, the pit, which was dug by the 7C Salt Company, has claimed more than 7 lives this year. Residents say if nothing is done about the situation, they will take the law into their own hands.
Demonstrating this morning because there are so many killings going on at our vicinity here, where the Indian hold company called 7C Salt Factory located at Ghana has taken a lot of illegal concessions, dives and dives, which is being trapped, and our natives and citizens are going into the desert trying to fish and have been killing them. So this morning, we the youth, the citizens who are not spectators but active participants in this constituency, we are demonstrating to vent our anger, to demonstrate, to show to the world that there are so many killings going on in Ketu South, and it needs to be stopped because they have acquired our lands and our lagoons, our wetlands illegally because they do not have any documentation on what they are doing. That's why they feel free to do anything which is a danger to us. So we are calling on the president, we are calling on all women Ghanaians, all those living around the world to come to our end so that we dialogue, we sit down with this company and make sure the right things are done.
Our call this morning is on to the President of the Republic of Ghana to halt the activities of the 7C Salt Company Limited so that the company produce the credit that is acquired from the Minerals Commission and that from the EPA. Not until that is done, we don't see them operating here. Simply because the deep dives that they have created, the deep holes that they have created is drowning a lot of people. And if you go
Let's go to the region now and speak with our man, Christian Nahodia, who's been with these angry residents since morning. Christian Nahodia, what's happening in the Ketu South municipality right now? Are the residents still demonstrating?
Yeah, thank you very much, Auntie Sandra. Early this morning around 6 o'clock in the Ketu South municipality at the Benu main lorry station, the residents of Ketu South municipality have poured on the street this morning to register their grievances following the death of their mother and 3 children who lost their life in a pit dug by 7C company, they say, this morning. And they walked through the principal street of Denu to Naklevi Kope to the municipal assembly this morning and carrying their various red colors and others this morning. And they end the demonstration at the municipal assembly this morning and present the petition to the municipal chief executive. But I can bet you that during this demonstration, everything was very successful. They have security protection and there is no disturbances during this demonstration in the area.
I'm
But
sure
the
that,
main thing
right.
the main thing that people are calling on them, they are demanding a lot of things from the 7C company, who is the third company in the area. They, according to the residents here, the people establishing this company here, they did not engage the community members about the establishment of the company. They did not have environmental impact assessment. They did not carry that as a feasibility study. All those things are one of the things that is also hampering the activities of the people here. And they are calling on the government that the conception of the 7C salt factory has been have taken over different community, and where they're supposed to end their project, they have jumped another community, and these are the place that we have entered is the areas that are causing a lot of harm to the community members in the area.
Now, 7 people have so far lost their lives. What have the families of these people been saying?
Auntie Sandra, yeah, they are very, very angry about the situation, and they are calling on the authorities to take action, or if there will be a compensation. If it is true, these people, the fault is coming from the 7C, then there should be a compensation, or something must be done very urgently. But some residents are also against the traditional leaders, that they are aware of this situation because they are taking something from the people. That's why when anything happens and the youth complain, they don't pay any attention to their concern in the area.
And have you been able to speak with an official of the 7C's company? How are they reacting to this demonstration?
Yeah, we just finished the demonstration, and we tried to call the public relation officer, but it's not going through. But we will be moving from here to their company if the permission will be given to us to see the one in charge that will speak to the media.
And what's the district assembly doing about this?
Yeah, after receiving the petition, the municipal chief executive, Maswe Kofi Logodo, assured the demonstrators that the petition will be reaching the Mineral Commission, the Presidency, and Land Commission and Environmental Protection Agency, and he supports the action of the youth, and he's also a citizen of this area, so he's not going to sleep on this issue, so he will surely take action to support the action of the youth.
Anything else happening out there that you'd want to share with us?
Well, everything ends successfully, and the people are expecting more action from the municipal chief executive after this demonstration. If not, they will be taking the law into their hands in the next step.
Christian Ahodia is our man in the Volta region. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Now, Galamsey Kingpin Aisha Wan and 3 of her counterparts who are standing trial at the Accra Circuit Court reappeared on Tuesday. Their lawyers made another plea for their release from custody after they were denied bail by the court during their last appearance. But this did not yield any result as they were still remanded. My colleague Elvis Ando will join us later with more details. I understand we have Elvis. Hello, Elvis. Good afternoon to you. What's happening at the court now?
Okay, so Annie, court has just finished the hearing of Aisha Wan case, and what happened is that she has been remanded again to be in police custody. So the next 2 weeks, when she will be asked there, she'll be asked to come back to court for the hearing to also commence. And today in court, what actually happened was that still the argument was on finding whether or not she could be able to get a bill, but the argument went further and she wasn't granted bail. But interesting about the argument is that Nkrabia Ifa that indicated that it's very difficult to get access to her client because his client, because anytime he's trying to get access to the client due to security protocols at where she's being kept at the BNI, it's quite difficult to breach the protocols and also get access to her client and his client, and making ways for him to be able to interrogate him, Aisha Wan freely, is quite a difficult one. So she feels that the court should look at it and also grant a bill as being requested by him for his client. And he went on to also establish the fact that there is rumor going around the world that if you are a foreigner in this part of our country, that is in Ghana, it's difficult for you to get a bail application because the country sees you as someone who is a flight risk and will not aid in the matter. And that he made mention that the judge should look at how best that can be resolved. The argument went further on, and he gave a lot of reasons why Aisha should be granted bail, but the court, in its wisdom, decided not to grant Aisha a bail application as being pleaded for by her counsel. The court decided that the fishes are crying and the ecosystem is being depleted, and so on that tangent, Aisha cannot be granted bail, and this issue has to be of national interest, and everyone is interested to see how best this issue will go. And he, the judge, that is the judge Samuel Bright Aqua, is looking at how best the issue would be taken up by other courts. Remember that Aisha is in the High Court, the Accra High Court, on this same matter which has been filed against her by the Republic. And so Aisha is going to be in the Circuit Court and also being dragged to the High Court as well. So the judge, Bright Aqua, is keenly following on how best the matter will be well handled with regards to the legal activity that is fighting against Galamsey. So, Annie, this is a summary of what happened in court.
Alexander, they're reporting live from the Accra Circuit Court. Meanwhile, the case involving the Chief Executive Officer of defunct Men's Gold Ghana Limited, Nana Appiah-Mensah, has been adjourned to Wednesday, November 9. This was due to the absence of a presiding judge. Nana Appiah-Mensah, Gabriel Kwamega, also known as Gabi, and Eric Amponsa Bediakun, also known as Kana, have been charged with conspiracy to defraud by false pretense. Moving on, the Katanga Hall Alumni Association of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has petitioned the Education Minister over the arrest of 3 of its members. The association, in a correspondence, asked for the release of the 3 students that have been remanded in police custody. According to them, the trio were held without charge for over 48 hours and only arraigned. This, the association believed, was unlawful since they are considered innocent until proven guilty by a court of the land. Last week, 3 more students of the KNUST were remanded into police custody in connection with the violent clashes on the campus. Joining us via Zoom is Dr. Collins Kankam Kwating. He is the interim executive committee member of the Katanga Alumni Association. Good afternoon to you, Doc. Now, you say you believe this incarceration is a knee-jerk reaction to the issue pertaining to the frequent Katanga-Kunti clashes. Why do you say so?
Thank you very much for having me. Over the years, the Katanga alumni have shown concern regarding some of these student clashes. We believe that it has a root cause, and until the root cause is taken care of, we're always going to see or experience things like this one. We call it knee-jerk reaction because anytime the school authorities decide to clamp down on students, the students rather become more radical. And we believe that some of the decisions and the policies by the school authorities are rather creating monsters and making the students radical. And we believe that the way to go is not by causing the arrest of the students and putting them behind bars.
But Doc, these students did what was wrong and are being punished. Don't you think you should leave the school to deal with the situation?
Not that we are condoning the violence. We believe that we are under the rule of law. And if the rule of law will permit the law enforcement agencies to arrest the students, I'm sure that the same rule of law also permits the alumni to also share a candid opinion. We believe that for a campus, when students do something like this, there should be a fact-finding committee to look into the matter critically and come out with findings. Those that are culpable, you sanction them. Over the years, students could face rustication, or students could then be given to the police. My sister, in this instance, till now, only students from the Katanga Hall have been arrested. And if two students from two rival halls clash, we call it routing or whatever, why is it that the concentration is on arresting students from the university hall? They are arresting students from Katanga Hall. None of these guys arrested is coming from Conti or Unity. We are not saying that by force they should arrest students from Conti, but because the whole issue did not go through fact-finding committee, the university authorities think that it is the Katangis that they can arrest them to clamp down the students. And that is why we are saying that it is not fair. Right. It is never fair because the day that the incident occurred, a week before, the Conti students had their whole week, nothing happened. Nobody amassed anywhere, nobody converged anywhere to meet anybody. They had their whole week, enjoyed, and nothing happened. A week after that, Katanga had their whole week. Police were brought on campus to make sure that nothing happens. But the Katangis went for their procession. Why would the Conti people converge to meet the Katangis, even in the presence of the police? And in the midst of all this, none of these Conti guys has been arrested. And they are arresting the Katangis. They were innocently going for their procession for their whole week. And the Conti people converged at the point, started throwing stones. And we believe that if you want to arrest Katangis, no problem. Why do you keep them behind bars? Why do you keep them after 48 hours? And why do you pick students who were in exams or writing exams? My sister, this has never happened in the country before. This incident happened at Legon. It happened at Legon. Have you heard what is going on? Nothing. They have solved the issue. If students will have to surcharge, you surcharge the student. We are training students to become future leaders. Sometimes we have to manage the students to hold them to be responsible as we want them to grow to become responsible leaders. And it is not only about incarcerating them, arresting them, something small, you bring the police on campus to come and arrest them. And that is where we, the Katanga alumni, believe that the university authorities over the years have not been fair to Katanga. Two students, two halls clash. Two halls clash. None of these guys arrested is coming from Conti. Why is it so?
Right, I understand you, but what do you expect the education minister to do about this?
Yes, we want the education minister to intervene, talk to the school authorities to redirect some of the things that they are doing. We want the education minister to request the school authorities to set up a fact-finding committee. We, the alumni, we have made ourselves available to be part of whatever committee that university want to set up. We know the root cause. We understand the situation better. It appears that, judging from the decisions from the university today, it appears that they do not know the root cause. So we want the minister to request the university authority to set up a fact-finding committee. Let's go into the issue and have a lasting solution to it. Every day, skirmishes like this will happen. They will concentrate on arresting the Katangis. After a year or two, it will re-emerge. We don't want it to happen again. We want to have a lasting solution to it. And we want the minister to initiate that process, of which we, the Katanga alumni, are ready to be part.
In your letter, you said that you want to be given an opportunity to provide and contribute towards a lasting solution to these crises. What difference will this make?
Yes, what we are saying is that until we are able to go into the root cause and identify exactly what the issues are, which include some of the decisions the university authorities have been taking over the years, which include not allowing continuous students to be in the hall. My sister, this issue started long ago. They started with in-out-out policy, where the halls to only be allocated to first years. That did not work. They came to in, out, 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 in. That did not work. At a point, they said, okay, let's add females to the hall. They added female. That did not work. Now they are saying that they will not even allow the JCRC to even elect their own leadership. And we are saying that if you continue to come out with some of these policies, it is never going to help. We, the alumni, we understand the situation better. We want the minister to initiate the process. The university should set up a fact-finding committee that will bring a lasting solution to this. My sister, all my friends are from Conti, and I cannot imagine throwing stones at them. These young ones do not know exactly what is meant by Katangism or where somebody lives at Conti. And they are, I mean, these are some of the root issues.
Dr. Kamkama, I'm asking my very final question, and if you can be brief, I'll very much appreciate it. What if the education minister refuses to heed to your call? What are you going to do?
My sister, we will continue to push. We also want to say that we are not at war with the university authorities. We cannot be at war with them, and it is not being at war with the university authorities that is going to solve the problem. We believe in continuous engagement. The university authorities should allow us to come in, then be part of whatever fact-finding committee that they are going to set up, and also contribute to looking for a lasting solution to the problem, of which I have mentioned some of them. Keep continuous students in the hall, and possibly, revert the decision of mixing the hall.
Right. Dr. Collins Kankam Kwating, he's the interim executive committee member of the Katanga Alumni Association. Thank you very much indeed. You're still watching Newsbeat. We'll be right back.
The rescue of 24 more children from human trafficking in fishing. 8 of the children were rescued through the organization's conventional approaches, while 16 of those children were rescued on Ghana's borders for slavery.
You're welcome back. Good to have you with us. Member of Parliament's Communications Committee and Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Sam George has filed a suit at the High Court against the Attorney General and the National Communications Authority. This is on the back of the NCA's announcement that unregistered SIM cards will be blocked on September 30.
Some weeks ago, MP for Ningo Pram Sam George started collecting data for a class action against the National Communications Authority for threatening to block SIM cards if users fail to register them. In a Twitter post, the MP asked Ghanaians who had been affected by the directive from the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization to fill a form on his page. In that regard, the MP, alongside 10 others, are seeking an injunction against the NCA for imposing punitive action against any unregistered SIM. According to the class suit, this should prevent the NCA from blocking, deactivating, restricting any SIM card in terms of network usage until the case is heard. The court is expected to be moved on October 6th, which may bring the September 30th deadline given by the NCA to a halt. The suit is calling on the court to limit the actions of the NCA and prevent any more punitive action against SIMs that are yet to be registered.
It's just 3 days to the SIM card registration deadline. Metro News' Elvis Ando visited some centers and reports that they are virtually empty.
Well, in a few days to come, all SIM cards that have not been re-registered will become useless. This according to the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. Every SIM card is expected to be registered before the deadline slated September 30, 2022. But when you come to the SIM registration centers in Osu, MTN and Vodafone office, you realize that the number has dwindled. As to why the number has dwindled, no one can tell. Whether or not the people or the subscribers have been able to re-register their SIM, no one can tell. But from what I have been told by some staff at the various outfits, that's Vodafone and MTN, they have a lot of people who have not yet registered their SIM. Aside that too, there's been countless arguments that a lot of people are having challenges with their Ghana card, and so when they go to the NIA office for rectification, they are not able to become successful with it. So now the question lies, will the deadline be extended again, or the ministry will still maintain the deadline slated, that is 30th September.
Will there be another extension of the exercise, or subscribers who fail to partake will have themselves to be blamed? Elvis Ando, Metro News, Accra.
Let's take a look at some other stories now. 16 children, including a 14-year-old pregnant girl, have been rescued from being trafficked from the central region to Côte d'Ivoire. The children, according to rescuers, were being trafficked into forced labor and forced marriages. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Challenging Heights, a non-governmental organization, James Kofi Annan, the rescue brings the total number of rescued children to 57.
Challenging Heights has, within the month of September, supported the rescue of 24 more children from human trafficking in fishing. 8 of the children were rescued through the organization's conventional approaches, while 16 of those children were rescued on Ghana's borders with its neighboring countries. The children rescued were made up of 6 girls and 18 boys, with one of the girls being pregnant at the age of 14, bringing the total of the children the organization has rescued so far this year, 2022, to 57 children. Challenging Heights is a leading local Ghanaian anti-slavery organization which has worked to address human trafficking since its inception in 2003. The organization has so far rescued nearly 1,800 children from various forms of slavery and forced labor. A new data from the International Labour Organization, Work Free Foundation, and the International Organization for Migration shows that 49.6 million people were living in modern slavery in 2001 alone, almost 10 million more than the previous global data on the issue. Of the figure, 28 million of them were in forced labor, while 22 million were trapped in forced marriages, with over 26.7 million of them being females. Modern slavery occurs in almost every country in the world, and it cuts across ethnic, cultural, and religious lines. Challenging Heights recently released a comprehensive report on child labor, which revealed that over 60% of all children found along Le Volta villages are involved in child labor. The report did not isolate those found in forced labor, although there's evidence to show that there are over 20,000 children found in forced labor in Lake Volta alone.
Farmers in Kintampo are bearing the brunt of deplorable roads in the area. Their inability to convey the produce to the farm gate results in post-harvest losses, a situation they want government to address as soon as possible.
Despite growing food crops in abundance, farmers in Kintampo are unable to sell them due to the poor nature of their roads. They are unable to cart their produce from their farms to the various towns.
We need government to come into our aid to help us to get that one to the lightning system in the market. If not, tonight our goods are being tapped by, let's say, to steal, and then the animals are spoiling other parts. So it's a very big challenge to us. And then how the land is, we need to grade it, to wipe up the top of the soil, and then put gravels on it to help us. Our cars, some of the cars are too stuck in the market, and how to even move an inch is a problem when it rains.
Mbani nyina betoko kumasi achi babia ye dwanu mutira ankasa ena dwanu so atofo bayi ankasa nso ye wuni hwe dwanu poto nso ye twa ye ntimi na ye ntimi nya hwe.
The paramount chief of the more traditional area, Nana Kweku Dankwa, wants government to intervene.
Especially ufri Kintampo ekobusema. Wow. Kwanu nye bakuse. Enuntino ye besrese nanado one naban. Omuncho mwani hwe Kintampo man mu ha. Na yeni omaya yedi yaka chikra.
Meanwhile, the municipal chief executive for the area, Isaac Baffo, admits the roads are worsening the plight of the poor farmers. At the moment, he says the assembly lacks funds to fix the roads, but assures the residents that funds will soon be released from the central government.
We have packaged the town rules to the Ministry of Roads, copied to the urban rules. We are waiting for the approval from the ministry. Town rules, road network is something that the assembly cannot even do. Very costly, and the assembly cannot do it. What the assembly can do is the reshaping and the export improvement that we have been doing. Last year we did that. To the Kintampo market, it's true that the whole place is very bad condition. And it means the first thing we have to do as assembly is to make sure that all the drainage system at the market have to be done.
Let's go to the Central Region now, where Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has commissioned the 22-kilometer Cape Coast Inner City Road. This is part of the Master Project Support Agreement with the Sino-Hydro Corporation of China and the Government of Ghana.
The project began in November 2019. This is part of the Master Project Agreement between the Sino-Hydro Corporation of China and the Government of Ghana. Areas within the Cape Coast metropolis that have benefited from the project include Akotoachi, Kwapro, Apeosika, Duako, Amamoma, and Academy of Christ the King. Others include Wesley Girls Road, CCTU, Eyifua Estate, and English-Arabic area. The construction of drains, culverts, and road rehabilitation works have been completed. Construction of railways, road markings, and placement of road signage have also been carried out on the road. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, while addressing the gathering, indicated that the project has been beneficial to Ghanaians, adding that critics opposed to the project in the initial stages without understanding its benefits. He added that government has remained focused to ensure its full implementation to foster development, especially in ensuring smooth transportation.
The objectives of the projects are to enhance intra-urban, regional, and national traffic flow, trade, and strengthen regional economic integration. I was privileged to perform the sword cutting for this important project on 21st November 2019. The commencement of the project was on 20th December 2019 for completion in 30 months. The project was duly completed on schedule.
Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amakwata, gave details of the project and says more projects are being carried out to improve the road infrastructure in the region.
Government, through the Ministry of Roads and Highways, has developed a unique strategy for the road sector nationwide and Central Region inclusive. And this is to increase the percentage of road in good condition by undertaking various periodic maintenance activities, such as asphalt overlays, resealing works, minor rehabilitation and upgrading of our roads, partial reconstruction and graveling, as well as regraveling of our roads.
You're still watching News Beat. Up next is Business with Winston Taki.
It's now time for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki, and now to a first business story. The chances of Ghana restructuring its debt are rising as the task of winning over the IMF yet again may be an uphill battle. According to the Director of Business Operations at Delex Finance, Joe Jackson, the government should focus on cutting its expenditure on debt servicing and salary as it engages with the IMF for a possible bailout. Fitch Ratings downgrade of Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to CCC from B negative reflect the deterioration of Ghana's public finances, which has contributed to a prolonged lack of access to Eurobond market, in turn leading to a significant decline in external liquidity. In the absence of new external financing sources, international reserves will fall close to 2 months of current external payment by end of 2022. Among sub-Saharan sovereigns rated by Moody's, Ghana and Kenya are the most vulnerable if they are unable to roll over maturing bonds because of low current reserve coverage for repayments due between 2022 and 2026. In an interview with the Director of Business Operations at Delex Finance, Joe Jackson believes the government needs to cut down its key expenditures.
Part of reducing expenditure is tackling the two biggest items. Number one is salaries. Number two is debt service. These two take over 100% of our salaries. So we're going to expect them to present a plan to say, I'm going to cut debt service and I'm going to cut salaries, expenditure on salaries. Now, cutting debt service is obviously the one that has taken front page up as at this moment. And cutting debt service means accepting that I can't pay my creditors as it is and saying, guys, can you help me out? Can you allow me either to reduce the interest rate? Can you allow me to stretch the period of repayment? Or can you allow me to reduce the amount I owe you, the principal I owe you? Or some form of the three. Right. We're expecting that there will some form of this plan will be presented to the IMF.
He hinted that the IMF will concentrate on Ghana's domestic debt restructuring.
What actually will be presented, we don't know exactly yet. We do know that they are meeting for domestic debt restructuring, which is what is causing the most distress at the moment, because the commercial banks, the insurance companies, the pension houses, the rural banks, and the like are all, and individuals are all about loaning money to the government and may expect a haircut.
The central bank is projected to raise the policy rate again if inflation does not peak in line with current expectations. A higher policy rate will likely be transmitted to domestic yields, putting further pressure on the government's domestic borrowing costs. Now, the Association of Aggrieved Cocoa Farmers is calling for a 70% increase in the price for a bag of cocoa. According to them, the present high cost of input is necessitating their demand.
Recall how the current government increased the price for a bag of cocoa from 510 Ghana cedis to 660 cedis some 2 years ago. However, their concern is that the present high increase in materials for cocoa farming has led to their call to increase the prices of bags of cocoa in that regard. It is undoubtedly clear that cocoa farmers contribute largely to Ghana's economy. According to them, the said increase will help in the face of the rise in the materials and the high cost of living. They further clarified how they only manage to break even without making profit after harvest because every income goes into the purchase of materials for proper care of their cocoa farms. In effect, they noted the life of a farmer has always been of poverty and hardship, although they deserve better. As a matter of urgency, the aggrieved cocoa farmers are humbly pleading with government to see to a whopping increase in the price of bags of cocoa.
We are being joined on phone by the president of the Aggrieved Cocoa Farmers Association, Nathaniel Abuadi, for a better understanding of their situation. Welcome to Newsbeat, Nathaniel.
Thank you.
Great. What is the current pricing for a bag of cocoa, both the maxi bag and the normal 50-kilogram bags?
The price. Can you come again, please?
Yeah, what is the pricing at the current, in regards to the bag of cocoa at the moment? How much do you sell for price?
660 Ghana cedis a room. The current price of a bag of cocoa, 660 Ghana cedis.
Good. Is that, how long has that price been maintained? And also going into the next pricing season, has the Cocoa Board brought any adjustment that you're looking forward to?
No, it has been just for, I think, 2 years. It has been 6.6 for 2 years now, and we've not had any rumor of increase. And even if there's a rumor, what we reacting is a hoping increase, because not every increase will be an increase to us. If I should give an example, increasing 6.6 to 700 or 800 wouldn't be enough, considering the expenses we do now on our cocoa. We were buying the list price of Vidicide at 18 cedis last year, and we're now buying it at 35 cedis. We're also buying the list price of fertilizer at 70 cedis, and we're now buying it at 125 cedis. We all know the hike in fuel prices and labor. So, considering all those expenditures on our cocoa, we think even if the government has decided to increase the cocoa, we should make it known to the government that increasing it should be of hoping, not just a mere increase.
Okay.
So that's clearly our demand.
All right. Now, the 1st of October is the Cocoa Day. What is your outfit prepared towards that particular day?
Please, can you come again?
You know, on the 1st of October is World Cocoa Day. There's been cases that we have not been able to meet our potential harvest in terms of output.
Yeah. First, we are expecting the prices, the new prices to be announced on that day. The set is at 1st October. And if anything, if the price comes out and it's not of our interest, or it's not in the interest of cocoa farmers, if it wouldn't be of benefit to us, then we decide what to do with our cocoa, because we have our nearby borders increase their prices openly. So we also want to have a better price.
Okay.
Better price than
Finally, before I let you go, Nat, I want to understand, there's this allegation that some of the farmers are reselling the subsidized fertilizers to others on the market. What do you say to that?
Some cocoa farmers have subsidized their
are reselling the subsidized fertilizers given to them by the government?
Oh, I wouldn't say much to that, but if they should do that, it all boils down to anger and poverty. If they have the money, they wouldn't sell the fertilizer they would use on their cocoa farm to sell it at a price or something. And I'm not sure the subsidized price of the fertilizer brought to them by the government would be sold too. But even if it is done, it all boils down to poverty. They will sell it because they don't have the money to buy other things for the cocoa. As example is we have the blackboard. For that one, if you don't do the spraying or if you don't do that, the harvest will be very low or even square to zero. Okay. So some might decide to sell the subsidized fertilizer for other things on the same cocoa.
Okay. Thank you, Nathaniel, for your time. Nathaniel Abuaje is the president of the Aggrieved Cocoa Farmers Association here in Ghana. That'll be all for business here on Newsbeat. Sports will be back after this break. Keep talking.
Good afternoon. It's time for sports on Newsbeat. My name is Phil John Quarty. Just before we focus on the Black Stars who are ready to take on Nicaragua this evening, let's focus on Premier Club House of Folk. News breaking is that they decided to part ways with the gentleman on your screens after Sunday's showdown with Santiago to the Babaya Sports, which ended 1-1. We've been told that both the coach and the crowd decided, sorry about the spelling of somewhere, don't worry about that one, but they have started ways with House of Folk. Let's go straight into the news. And focus on the Black Stars. News we're picking is that Samuel Bildu has left Accra House of Folk. Let's go to the Black Stars now, straight because they are preparing to take on Nicaragua in another friendly after being beaten by Brazil by 3-0. Let's hear the manager. We're talking about Otuado.
Yeah, I think it's a good, also another good test match for us. Just to find each other, to find patterns, find connections, and yeah, we're happy to be here and have an opponent like Nicaragua, where we hopefully can try a lot of things. I don't think it will be that as tough as the match against Brazil, but it's a different toughness because they proved also in previous games that they can harm other teams, so it's going to be interesting. To have a lot of connections, it's a different game. I think this game we are favorites, so it demands different things from us. And yeah, we trained it, we talked about it the last days, and hopefully we can see a lot of, especially offensive patterns in that game. I don't know, like I said, it's a different match. And for everyone to know, for me, I can win with a team and play against the next team, but every team demands different things. So I need to pick the players which I need for that game. Even though somebody may score 3 goals in one game, it doesn't mean that he has to play in another game, because it's the games and the teams.
So there you have the Blasters are preparing to take them from Managua. We're talking about Nicaragua tonight in Spain. Remember that they were beaten by the Brazilians by 3-0, and they could make amends tonight against the men from Central America. Let's focus on England because they ended the Euro Championship by playing 3-3 with the arch rivals in Europe. We're talking about Germany. Yesterday they ended 3-3 at Wembley. Harry Kane is the captain.
I thought we played really well tonight. Was unfortunate to go 2-0 behind, obviously a mistake, and then a great goal from the edge of the box. Done really well to stay in the game, get back into it, get the lead, and then unfortunately another error. But look, the fight in the team, the mentality in the team was showed out there today. We didn't get the win, but we can be proud of what we've done, and yeah, I think it puts us in a good place going into the World Cup. It was nice to score, obviously. Always seem to be a few pressure penalties here at Wembley, so nice to see that one go in. Of course, just a shame we couldn't get the win, but no, look, we keep going. Proud of the boys. Yeah, now we have a busy 6 weeks or so and then get ready for the World Cup. Look, we're playing Germany at Wembley. No matter the competition, that's always a big game. And yeah, obviously I feel like the boys have been under pressure.
Harry Kane over there reacting after England held Germany 3-3 in the Euros. He yesterday played at Wembley. Just before we go away, let's bring it up. Breaking news coming from Premier Club Accra Hearts of the gentleman speaking. That was the last time he spoke as the head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak at the Babaya Sports Stadium on Sunday following a 1-1 draw with Kotoko. We've been told from the head office of Accra Hearts of Oak he had decided to part ways with the club. Mutual consent we're being told Samuel Buedo is no more the head coach of Accra Hearts. Over there, you see him over there. The last time he spoke as coach of Accra Hearts was at the Babaya Sports Stadium on Sunday following the attack against Koto ended 1-1. I'm sure the Phobias were looking forward to bringing a new manager. We're being told that it's likely to be Prosper Ogu. We'll wait and see and give you all the breaking right here on Metro TV. My name is Phil John Quarte. Up next, we're bringing you Showbiz.
And it's time for entertainment time. Desmond Okrekudan. So now today, 27th September, marks World Tourism Day across the world. And to celebrate the day in Ghana, the Ghana Tourism Authority is marking it in the Upper West region. And the day is celebrated under the theme, Rethinking Tourism. Now, Ghana, over the years, has been pushed in the light as a hub of tourism on the continent. And let's have a conversation on this as we speak to the Vice President of the Tour Operators Association of Ghana, Michael Owens. Good afternoon, Michael, and thank you for joining us here on Newsbeat.
My brother, for having me. Good afternoon.
Great. How would you put our strides to become one of the best hubs when it comes to tourism in Africa? Are we doing very well?
First and foremost, good afternoon to your viewers all over the world. Ghana, we have done well over the years. I would say the last 10 years, we have seen a lot of improvement. the introduction of the Beyond of Return has become a sensational, where we have invited our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, because our strength lies in the culture, the heritage, the history. We are not endowed when it comes to wildlife like Kenya and South Africa and the rest. So our selling point is the history, the heritage, and also the culture. So I believe the introduction of the Year of Return was very successful, continuing with the Beyond of Return, that Ghana is still inviting brothers and sisters from the diaspora to come, not just to see Ghana, but to invest and become an integral part of our development. So I would say we have done very well over the last 10 years, a lot of improvements, and I think we are in the right track. Of course, COVID truncated our progress, but I think now that things has come down a bit, we are able to pick the pieces and continue from where we left in 2019. So I would say we are doing very well.
Now, Michael, you are a tour operator, you are the vice president. What are some of the challenges that you think that going forward we need to address that to make sure that we have more tourists coming into the country?
Okay, so number one challenge is our clients, the hassle they have to go through to access visa. Getting visa to Ghana from America, which is our number one country that our clients come from, it's a major challenge. So moving forward, we'll be very much happy to see expedite process in visa acquiring for our brothers and sisters coming to Ghana. The e-visa, I think, will be a major boost if we're able to introduce the e-visa, so that not necessarily you need to send your passport to the embassies. You can just do it from the comfort of your phone or laptop, apply for visa, and they will send you an email which will have your visa. You just print it out and you are good to go.
Great.
So
Michael.
Visa is a major problem, coupled with the expensive accommodation, which the hoteliers always say that because of the burden of taxes on them. So in moving forward, personally, I'll be very much happy if they can ease the process of getting visas to Ghana, and also how the government can engage the hotels, give them a bit of tax holidays or reduce some of the taxes they pay, so that they can also reduce the hotel
prices
fee, because most of our clients do complain of high hotel bills. So
Michael,
let's
end it here.
Taken care of, I believe it will help.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Michael Owens is the vice president of the Tour Operators Association of Ghana, speaking to us as we celebrate World Tourism Day today. That's it for entertainment. I am Desmond Okrekudan. So up next is international news. Kenyan lawyer Paul Gicheru, who was facing charges of witness interference at the International Criminal Court, ICC, has died. According to the police, Mr. Gicheru was found dead at his home in the capital, Nairobi, and Mr. Gicheru was accused of bribing witnesses that were to testify against Kenya's current president, William Ruto. A panel set up by Nigeria's National Human Rights Commission has recommended the dismissal and prosecution of a number of police officers for torture, extrajudicial killings, and illegal detentions. Japan bids farewell to former leader Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated in July. A rare and controversial state funeral took place for the former prime minister in tense Japan, while the event deeply divided public opinion. Children and older teenagers have been removed from the jungle compound of a Jewish sect in Mexico following a raid by police. It took place against the Lev Tahor group, which was investigated on suspicion of trafficking minors, and the group had been under surveillance by an Israeli team and Mexico police for months.
And that's how we end Newsbeat. My name is Ifwa Ando. Have a good afternoon.